my top 10. Okay. And so based off of my experience, so basically what I think, Eric is my number 1. I think that his ability to gain bar, his corner carry, his neutral, I think are just some of the best, if not the best in the game. Like, the amount of damage that he can put out for the few amount of resources that you can put into him is ridiculous. I think he's good in every spot. I think his assist is good. Like, his team synergy is really good. So Eric would be my number 1, and he has the 104 tech, and the 104 is the best character in the game. So my number 2, I'm having a really hard time deciding between RJ and Lauren as my number 2. I feel like in a lot of aspects for me they're interchangeable, because I think, so I would probably give it to RJ as being the number 2, just because he literally has things about him that literally just ignore the rules of the game. The fact that his standing light hits twice means that universal flip out you can completely ignore. The fact that he can whiff cancel his auto combos and 2 of them lead into overheads, which means you can fish with overheads from 2/3 the screen, is ridiculous. And I think his Unga Bunga more ease of use nature than Lauren would put him above Lauren for me. But I think as far as like a kit, well, no, I'd still think that RJ is better. So yeah, I'd probably say RJ is my number 2. Lauren would be my number 3. Yeah, Lauren would be my number 3 just because she's got good neutral, good tools, assist is okay, and her damage output is redonkulous. Number 4 would be Scorpina. She has some okay neutral tools. She has no pressure, but the amount of damage that she puts out, it's too ridiculous, like, to be anything other than S tier. Like the character can literally kill you for 1 bar. It's like if you EX somebody, yeah, I agree with that. I think Jen's assist is the best, but her assist is definitely up there. Like, it's easily top 3 for me. But yeah, Scorpina, like, her toolkit is okay. Her buttons are not good. She still has some decent neutral tools between air special and instant air heavy, like the hop air heavy buzzsaw, but she has no pressure. But her damage is so yeah, exactly. But her damage output is just so ridiculous. For, like, if you literally hit somebody with EX, they're dead. They're literally dead. Because you'll hit them with the EX, you'll build the bar back, hit them with another EX, and then you just combo out for like over 1,000 plus damage. Exactly. So yeah, she is easily like my number 4. Number 5, I would say, probably Goldar. Goldar's my number 5. It's funny, I initially thought that Goldar was a good anchor character. I thought he was a good point character. He basically, for me, he's like Magna Defender with wings. Like, he's really good behind. He's really good behind assists, and a lot of his moves are very similar to Magna Defender. It's like you have the forward advancing move that has armor, the stupid damage, deceptive mobility. Because Magna Defender's wave dash is actually fantastic. But just no one does it. Most of the time because I guess you really don't need to, but I would like to see more people wave dash with him. Anyway, back to Goldar. Goldar he's so well-rounded. Are his buttons fantastic? No, they're not. But he's just so well-rounded. Behind assists, as an assist, I think he has one of the best assists in the game that maintains its armor and its stagger state for easy confirms. Like, his approach is predictable, but, like, I'm sorry, his air medium is, yeah, like, air medium is the god button, and you honestly don't even need assists to, like, kill with Goldar if you have 3 meters. Like, the assists and stuff are just extra, but Goldar's ability to kill, it's like, his damage, it's funny, I don't think his ground butt's that good, but, like, his neutral is still good. Like, he's got good neutral, he's got good mobility, he's got stupid damage, he's got a good assist, so he's a very well-rounded character. So he would be my number 5. Number 6, I would say probably Jen. Probably. Oh, do I want to say Jin or do I want to say Mastodon Sentry? That's a tough one. Yeah, I would say Jin. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, no. I mean, I agree with you. I think, but I think he's so good. He's such a good standalone character. But the thing is, like Jen isn't exactly a high output damage character either. You kind of have to do a lot with her. I don't know who I give it to. I really like Mastodon Sentry, but Jen, and he does, like, he's honest. He's an honest character. Yeah, he's an honest character. Like, he gets fantastic damage. Like, do you know what my nickname for Shadow Ranger is? He's Yes Ranger. That's what he is. Quotation mark, yes. Because, like, he was one of my favorite characters because he's like the lab monster character. You literally just go into training mode with him and just do whatever you want. And he's like, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Like, yeah, just, do whatever you want, man. And you can do all these sick combos with him. So he's like S tier as far as, like, being a lab monster character. Like, play him. But yeah, anyway, so back to between Jen and Mastodon Sentry. It's really tough. I'd probably give it to Jen for 2 reasons. I think her damage potential is higher. I think her ease of use is higher than Mastodon Sentry's, and I think her assist, even though it's slower than Mastodon Sentry's, offers more as far as, like, pressure and lockdown. Because they come in so staggered, you can just do whatever you want. It's like if they come in, like, well enough where it's like if they hit the opponent, you can get easy confirm, you can do stagger pressure, throws. So even though she is out there longer, like, Doom missiles are just dumb, as opposed to Mastodon Sentry. He does have a good assist. He does do well, I think, in every slot. I think he does well in every slot. As a point, as a support, and as an anchor character, I also think that he does well in all of those roles. But yeah, I think I'd give it to Jen just for I think her assist has more potential as opposed to just, covering screen space. It has more potential. Like, she's an easier to use character than Mastodon Sentry, so I'd probably say that. After that, so Eric was 1, RJ was 2, Lauren was 3, Scorpina was 4, Goldar was 5. Yeah, so Jen 6, Mastodon Sentry 7. I'm thinking either Cat or Zed. I don't have a lot of experience with. I mean, I've played Zed. I understand what makes Zed good. I haven't seen a whole lot of top tier Zed, but I know top tier Zed is really good. Like, he's got great screen control, really good screen control. I won't say great. He has really good screen control between, like, putties essentially being safe, homing blast, really far-reaching normals. At the end of the day, Zed is literally like push block standing heavy the character. Like, if your opponent does anything to you, it's like, oh, did you try to press a button? Push block, prepare to die. And that's what Zed does. He's very unique. He's got a lot of tools for a lot of different situations. So I'm not sure on that. As far as Cat, I actually had Cat as being very low because there were a lot of things, like when they took the infinite away from her, that I feel like she was just kind of lacking. But after I kind of understood her assist a little bit better, just how, even though her assist essentially between each Cat Scratch Claw is unsafe, because she's using it as coverage, and the fact if you try and push block it, some reason you still get hit by it, and the fact that her crouching medium, which I think is one of the best buttons in the game, has a hitbox behind it, so you can cross under people with it, which is ridiculous as a reset. Decent damage, ridiculous corner carry, decent neutral from, like, the mid-range to close range. But I don't know if I'd put her over Zed, though. Other considerations. Yeah, I feel you. That's actually kind of a good point. I actually totally forgot about Tommy. Actually, yeah, I kind of want to talk about Tommy and Jason. This is where it gets kind of tough. So here's the thing about I want to talk about Dai Shi for a quick second. The thing about Dai Shi is good. Daishi is good. He's got good pressure, Sunball and ridiculous lockdown pressure. Crouching Light is like literally Daishi the character. Like you don't have, like if you don't take anything away from Daishi, praise the sun and then like Crouching Light. Ridiculously long combos, like really good damage, but you can literally counter everything he does with throw. Still, like you can still throw him out of EX, you can still throw him out of his run. So because he has those two glaring weaknesses, it makes it really hard for me to want to put him really high. You know, it's like he does a lot of really good things. So the reason why I know that is, and I specifically remember this because when I actually first started playing Daishi when he first came out, my team was him, Jen, and Mastodon Sentry. And I did my EX, and somebody threw me out of it. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, exactly, but I took note of that, and I think maybe like in training I was messing around with something, and I noticed that you could throw him out of it as well. Like one of the things, but I was like, hold on a second. So I went to training and checked it out, and I was like, you can throw him out of this. And you actually might not be aware of this, you might, but I think a common trend in this game is characters that have a lot of forward advancing stuff, you can throw them out of it. Like Magna Defender, his forward slash, as I call it, you can throw him out of that. Goldar's shoulder charge, you can throw him out of that. Anything that Daishi does where he advances forward, you can throw him out of it. But anyway, back to this part. So we've already gone through 7, right? So we're at 8, so we have 2 more. So characters I'm thinking about right now would be Tommy, Jason, Zed, and Daishi. I'd probably say Tommy is next. Well, I mean, I do really like Shadow Ranger. I don't know. He is good, and his combos are really flashy, and his damage is really good. But kind of like you said, I think his neutral holds him back just a little bit. He's probably the fastest character on the ground in this game. Standing medium is he's probably the second fastest character behind Lauren, I think.
Fuck that character.
But yeah, outside of really standing medium, for me, I really don't feel like a dog has a whole lot going from him. Like his best zoning tool is doing like air shadow slashes, and the air shadow slashes have recovery behind it. His grounded shadow slashes hit at they cover just under enough range to be threatening, and then the recovery on it is so long that you can actually, punish him for whiffing the shadow slashes, so you can't really use it as a projectile. So I feel like he is kind of lacking in the neutral department on his own. It's like outside of standing medium and jumping heavy, I feel like he doesn't have like a whole lot to work with outside of assist. His assist, I think, is very unique in that it tracks, which is good, and you can tag him in the air to go for like a cross up, whatever, with his air heavy, which is really cool. But I don't know. I think his neutral kind of holds him back from me placing him really high. But this man is the Yes Ranger, quotation marks, capital YES Ranger. Yes. Yeah, I think I would go with Tommy because honestly, the only real nerf, truthfully, that actually matters, for me, that actually matters for Tommy is the fact that his Toot the Flute is no longer free. You can actually punish him for it if he tries to Toot the Flute in neutral without actually putting some space between him. But I'm sorry, like Tommy, he's got decent buttons at the very least. He has the dive, which, you can punish people with if they like throw a projectile or anything at the wrong time, really. It's safe, you can cover it like behind assist, the overhead, he can link into standing light and get full combo off of. His neutral special is at least a very decent projectile, and still, if you have nothing else to do, I do what to do with Tommy, and you have 2 bars, you toot that flute, and you go run in there and you do some shenanigans. He's Jason with dirt. He is Jason with the dirt. So
Jason with the dirt.
Jason
right
with
on.
the dirt. He's an easier to use character than a character like Shadow Ranger or Daishi or Zed. So the fact that he's an easier to use character where when you put in that time you still get a lot out of him, great corner carry, great damage, dirty resets. So I think I'd actually probably go with Tommy on that one. For me, it's between Jason or Daishi, because Jason Jason is just solid. I think he's at least decent at everything. For me, he's like the Super Saiyan Goku of this game. He's not even like Ryu, he's Super Saiyan Goku. He doesn't have like a lot of like dirt or whatever, but what he does have, he can get the job done. He's got good damage, he's got decent buttons, decent neutral. I feel like every time someone gets hit by like standing heavy, like someone needs to just take a shot, because you will get hit by standing heavy like all the time. But the thing about Daishi is kind of all the stuff that we talked about before. Daishi has a much higher ceiling, better damage, better pressure. So in this situation, I'm kind of torn between ease of use and just reliability versus ceiling. Well, I'm not really.
Jason's always been a dude since day one, yo. He's just been.
Yeah, and they want to buff, him too.
Neutralize.
That would be cool.
He's been one of
the
most adjustable one to drop in there.
It's like when I think about characters when I'm making my quote-unquote tier list, I kind of do like a mix. I'm kind of thinking about like potential. It's not as simple as like, oh, like casual or oh, competitive. I'm kind of thinking of like what potential that character has, so it's kind of like a mix of both. And I would probably give it to, because Daishi does have those weaknesses, but his ceiling is so much higher than Jason's, but Jason is just such a reliable character. Then he works in every slot. I think I'm gonna give it to Jason. I'd probably say Jason is 10 for me, just because he's just old reliable. Like he's good in every position, or at least decent in every position, and he's solid. He doesn't have a lot of he doesn't have any exploitable weaknesses. Yeah, and I think that would actually be my top 10. So in recap, we've got Eric Myers, then we've got RJ, Lauren, Scorpina, Goldar, Jen, Mastodon Sentry, Tommy, and then Jason. Was that 10? That's 9? Okay, fine, then Daishi after that. So yeah, I think that would be my top 10.